What do we think of the new backdrop? Kroger background. Let's go! Welcome back to the Sunshine Club, everybody. I'm the host, Julian James Cuddy. Today on this episode of the Sunshine Club, we're going to be talking about the best advice that I could give to my teenage self. Listen, I've done a lot of big mistakes in my life. A lot. And I'm just here to share, okay? This is just advice to like my younger self. If you want to tune in, go ahead. Tip number 1, school. If you are a student in the United States of America, it's pretty obvious. School sucks. I'm pretty sure we can all agree that school is not that fun. What I've come to realize is, maybe you disagree if you're a teacher, but school does not matter. Okay, genuinely, I'm 23 years old. I am, out of college, and it is unbelievable how much school does not matter. Now, there are certain contexts that school does matter, such as if you commit a felony and you're a senior in high school, you're going to jail. Don't do that. If you're offered drugs and you're in middle school, don't do that, okay? You can ruin your life. In fact, I made even an entire YouTube video talking about that. You can check that out when you're done with this one. But just overall, school genuinely does not matter. It literally does not. If you want to go to college and say, you're going to become a doctor and you really need to get into a prestigious college, maybe worry about school a little bit more, but don't make it your entire life. People have gone into Harvard with C average GPAs before, okay? You can do it if you really put your mind to it. It sounds so cliche, but it's genuinely true. I used to be under the mindset that you had to be on top of your grades in order to excel in life. Having good grades in middle school and high school, that's the way to go. It turns out that's not the case at all. Can you still see me? Hopefully you can. I don't know. Sleeper. Absolute massive sleeper that nobody may or may not bring up, but I will because I want to give you genuine tips and advice. Don't watch flat out. I don't know if I could say that. So don't watch videos of people making macaroni noises with one person's Wiener Schnitzel and the other person's bologna pony, if that makes any sense. Why do I bring this up? Genuinely is only growing in today's society. It genuinely is. And I feel like I come off as a boomer saying this. If you want to watch, go ahead. I would say, in my personal opinion, if you watch way too much, let me say this. If you've ever looked at yourself and been wow, I'm watching a lot of, you are 100% watching too much. If that thought has never even crossed your mind, you're probably fine. Of course, that doesn't apply to everybody, but I'm just saying, generally, that's the kind of criteria that you want to stick with. But generally, watching the videos where they make macaroni and cheese noises in them, it's not good for your brain. As a man, it has you objectifying women as just sexual objects. As a woman, it does the exact same. And there are some legitimate benefits to watching it. I would say though, and this is genuine, full 100% honesty and brutally honest right now. If you think that you are watching an excessive amount of, try to stop it now. Just stop. It's that easy. I'm just kidding. But no, really. A lot of people, whenever they think of drugs and alcohol and all that stuff, one thing that gets commonly left out is just as bad of a habit as smoking cigarettes or doing drugs is. Genuinely, I don't think it's good for you to watch it. If you want to watch it though, go ahead. Do whatever you want, okay? Slap that little toothpick that you got down in your pants and go to town, okay? But I'm just saying, in my personal recommendation, in this YouTube video that you are watching right now, I would say this, at least slow down at the very least. If not, just stop outright, okay? Does that make sense? Hopefully it does. I can't believe that like nobody like told me about this. Well, people told me about it, but I didn't really like take it to heart until like it happened to me. I still remember being a 6th grader, 7th grader in middle school, and people like, you know, teachers would tell me, my parents would tell me, like, yo, listen, you're gonna fall out of contact with people that you go to school with. It is shocking how true that is, okay? You genuinely will lose contact with 99.9% of people that you go to school with. I did not think at all for a second that I would like lose contact with everybody. Of course, you know, there are people that I was like, oh yeah, I go to school with them, but I don't really talk with them. So yeah, I could see them like, you know, falling out of my life. Everybody that you go to school with, except for like less than 5, if that, you're going to fall out of contact with. So like if you're on the school's football team, there's a pretty good chance that you're going to fall out of contact with all of them. You know, cheer team, whatever. There's a 95% chance that you'll talk to maybe 1, maybe 2, and then that is it. Like that you will literally not talk with any of them anymore. And I don't know why. I mean, people would tell me like, oh yeah, this is going to happen. And like, I never realized it. Mentally, I was like, oh yeah, that's gonna happen. You know, I'll fall out of contact with people that I'm going to school with. But I was like kind of shocked at like how quickly it happened. After like my senior graduation day and I was officially out of high school, it was like nothing, like radio silence, which is fine. Like it's cool. Like it's cool that it's gonna happen, but don't be like super concerned over things that happen in middle school and high school. Genuinely. You know what? Let me save that for tip number 3. Tip number 3. Genuinely, nobody cares about what happened in middle school and high school. Let me just paint the picture, okay? You're going to school, and like all of a sudden, you know, you really have to go to the bathroom, but for whatever reason, you have that asshole teacher that doesn't let you go to the bathroom, and you like, you know, you're holding it, and it's like, damn, I really, you know, I gotta go pee. And then the worst thing that you could ever think of possibly happens in your entire life. You pee yourself. That's embarrassing. I'm not gonna sit here and say that that's not embarrassing. But nobody cares, okay? Of course, yes, like bullying happens, and I'm pretty sure if you're in middle school or in high school and you piss your pants, you're probably going to get bullied. But outside of high school, nobody cares. Even about the big stuff too. Of course, crimes and stuff like that, don't commit crimes because the police don't give a fuck. The police will 100% put you in cuffs if you break the law, okay? That's a whole like different story. You should definitely care about not breaking the law. That being said, however, I can't think of like any sort of drama about a high school that like I like actually care about as, you know, a person that's out of school. The worst thing, you know, people hooking up with each other, people cheating on each other, fights. I do not care about any of that stuff. And the few people that I talk to from school, they do not care either. The only people that care about like the drama and like, you know, what happened, what went down, all this stuff are like people that are stuck in their high school days. No, don't get me wrong. Like if I talk into my old high school buddy and it's like, oh, like, did you hear about what happened to this person? Oh, wow, yeah, that person, they got pregnant with that guy. And it's like, you know, I'll care for like the 30 seconds that we're talking about it, and then that is it. I don't care anymore past that. Disclaimer, if you are from like a small town in say like Southern Illinois or like Missouri, completely disregard tip number 3 or tip number 4. I don't know what. Tip number 4. This is genuinely a tip that I've never heard anybody else ever suggest. That I don't know. I think it's a pretty awesome tip. Subscribing to my YouTube channel. Just click the link, please. It's completely free. I just ask for you for 2 seconds to just hit the subscribe button and then call it a day. Thank you so much. That's tip number 4 or number 5. I actually don't know which one I'm at. Oh, an extremely simple one that is, I'm not going to lie to you, is easier said than done because peer pressure is a big thing. Don't do drugs. I've literally made an entire YouTube video talking about why you shouldn't do drugs. It is very simple and very straightforward. Don't do drugs. You are so young and your brain is legitimately still developing. I know that we all think that our brain is done developing when we're 13 years old and we're like, dude, I'm done growing. Trust me, don't ruin your brain chemistry by doing drugs. And it's really hard to say because like, you don't notice the side effects of doing drugs until you legitimately get older. All these people that did like Percocets and like Xanax and all these different drugs when I went to high school are like legitimate zombies now. It's like, dude, they don't know what they're doing. And it's like, listen, I told you not to do drugs. I mean, well, okay, I'm not gonna sit here and say that I was like the all-knowing being or anything like that. But it's just simple. Just don't do drugs. And they're really expensive anyway, okay? An 8-ball of Coke is like what, $40, $50? Jesus Christ, man. Just buy Bitcoin or something like that. Invest. Tip number 7, it's one that's like, could be seen as like controversial almost, but I genuinely stand behind it. Working out. Working out is by far one of like the best personal therapies that you can give yourself that is 100% free, okay? It costs you $0 to go run around your neighborhood. It costs you $0 to do some push-ups. And I'm not saying that you have to go like full, David Goggins and just like kill yourself and then, like experienced, what's that one disease that one thing that like CrossFitters get? Obviously, don't overdo it. But I will say, working out genuinely, you feel way more confident about yourself. It's a fantastic stress reliever. Working out really, like I was going through it in high school. I'm pretty sure every single person in high school goes through it. I was going through it. Working out really helped out with that. And it's not easy. I'm not going to sit here and say that working out and like starting out a workout routine is easy. I will not sit here and say that. It is hard. It is very hard to do like 20 lunges and then to do like 20 squats and then you wake up the next day and you're like, I literally can't get out of bed because of how sore my legs are. That's not easy to get like, yeah, I'm gonna go back and do it again. It's not. I'm not going to sit here and say that it is. But just doing something very, very small, but at least doing it consistently helps out tremendously. Is that tip number 6? I actually don't remember now. I guess tip number 6 and tip number 7 could be viewed as the same thing, but I'm not going to categorize them as the same thing. In life, you have to work with people. Join a sport. The reason why I say join a sport is because it teaches you to work with people that you may or may not enjoy working with. Joining a sport really teaches you to work with people, whether you like them or not. And I'm not saying that you have to do a physical sport like football or basketball or something like that, but you can do whatever you want. Chess club, music, band, I don't know, anime club, like become a theater, like join theater. You can do whatever you want, really. I would just strongly recommend joining a club because it sets discipline because you have to go through a full 8 hours of school and then contribute even more to whatever, club you're a part of. That takes discipline. It's not easy to do that. It is not easy to go through an entire day of brain draining school and be like, I really don't want to be here right now. But then still commit to going to that club. It builds resilience in your brain. It also builds, no matter what you're doing, like creativity and thought processing skills that you didn't have before. And yeah, that's basically it for like tip number 7. Peekaboo. Hey, did you know I was there? Tip number 8. I remember when I was in high school, I was like, dude, I legitimately have no idea what I want to do. I'm a big guy. I'm 6'6", okay? And I was like, dude, why don't I just start like working out because women like tall guys and I could start working out and become jacked or something like that. So then I started to work out. What I didn't even realize was that I was working out as a part of the football club weightlifting team. In the off season, the football team would work out. I just like joined the workout team without realizing I was also joining the football team. So like one day in spring, I was like, okay, everybody go grab your jersey. I'm like, what's going on? And they're like, for summer football practice. I was like, what football? What are you talking about? Football. And I was like, I'm on the football team? Yeah, and just like that, I got signed up with a football team. So then I still had no idea what I wanted to do with my life. But I was like, man, I'm 6'6", I'm a pretty large guy, and I'm on the football team now. Why don't I just like continue to like at least get my body right and continue to work out for the rest of high school? And after high school, we could see what happens. And then right around senior year, I was like, dude, I'm like actually pretty okay, pretty good at football. What if I just like went and played college football? So then I played college football. I got invited and accepted onto football teams. And I was literally given scholarships. I was given scholarships for football. And the entire time, I had no idea what I was doing, okay? If nobody else has told you this before, because I know that a lot of people pressure young kids, high school kids, middle school kids to like find out what they're doing now. Listen, you don't have to have it figured out, okay? I know that you and we both see like Mr. Beast and the fact that like he started up his YouTube channel when he was 11 years old. And we're like, damn! I'm 18 and I have no idea what I'm doing. And I'm telling you now, that is perfectly fine, okay? You don't have to have it figured out. In fact, let me just let you in on a little secret now that I'm an adult. We don't have it figured out either, okay? If you want it, like, you can... The weirdest thing about life as an adult is that, like, you genuinely have freedom to do whatever you want. If you want to buy a 20-year-old van for $500 and then fix it up and then live in it and then you have zero bills, you can literally do that. If you want to try to like become a millionaire through selling real estate, you can literally do that. You can do whatever you want. There's like no rules in being an adult. In school, there's rules everywhere. Teachers dictate when you can go to the bathroom. Teachers dictate when you can talk. You have to have like these homework assignments done at this point in time, or otherwise you're going to fail even though you don't care about it because you were just forced to sign up for school. As an adult, there are no rules. At the same time though, if you just like kind of like go through life like aimlessly, you may not find any sort of like financial success or anything like that. Which at that point we could get into the philosophical argument of like, do you need to make financial success to be happy? Do you need to have a lot of money? Do you need to have a big house? Do you need to drive a Tesla to be happy? And then at that point it's like, well, no, because people drive random cars all the time and they're happy. Some people don't have a car and they're happy. And all this stuff. Some people have zero access to technology and they're happier than people that work at Apple. Wow. I don't know. I actually don't know like where I was going there. You don't have to have it figured out because trust me, 95% of adults, they don't have it figured out either. All right, tip number 10, the grand finale, the absolute motherload of tips. I got a tip. I got one. But I can't think of one. Here's a good tip. Genuinely, this is wild. And you might think I'm an idiot for like even suggesting this tip. Dude, read books. Holy crap. Reading books is something that I never did in high school. I would not read any books at all, okay? I thought books like, it's like, dude, why would I read books when I have YouTube videos that I can watch? Or, dude, TikTok is kind of like going dummy right now. The algorithm is going nuts. Why don't I just watch TikTok instead of reading books? Reading books is like genuinely like a mental cleanser. It like, dude, it is so crazy because there are like billions of books, I'm sure at this point. And it's insane how, billions, hey, listen, that might be a little bit excessive. But there are millions. There's definitely millions of books out there in the world. And you could find a book on basically any topic that you want. In my personal opinion, it would be really, really good for you to just read a book or two. And I'm not saying that you have to read, an entire encyclopedia in a day. No. But what I am saying is like a book every now and then. Like my personal recommendation, I'm sure you're thinking like, Julian, what book do you recommend? by far, my personal book that I recommend to you watching this video right now, The Creative Act by Rick Rubin. The reason why I proposed that book, it honestly just makes you think differently. That's it. That's like the biggest reason why I would like recommend that book. It is absolutely fantastic. But overall, reading books, like, imagine somebody doing like a TikTok reel, except it takes them like on average 4 years or 5 years to make. I'm pretty sure that TikTok reel would have a lot of information in it. Books are pretty awesome. If you ever want to like find out information about something that you deeply care upon, listen, YouTube videos are not going to cut it. Reading books scientifically will make you smarter. Read books. Those are all of my tips. Hey, let me know. Were these like good tips? I have no idea. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a blessed day. And if you could just subscribe, please. You don't have to though, but please subscribe. Subscribe just once, please.